Shabbat Shalom, giving all praise and glory to the Most High, by h.o.i. If you've been tuned in to a lot of things that's been going on in the world, especially the fact that America killed the top general of the Iranians, it's on. You know, a lot of things in the mix right now. We're going to see how it accumulates all the different things that's been said to bring forth the prophecies of this Bible. That's what I want to do today. I want to prophesy and go into a lot of things that's written and the results of what the Most High have said. We're going to look at Colossians 3:17 as always. Whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by h.o.i. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by h.o.i. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior, h.o.i. We give glory to the Most High. We thank the Most High for everything, because He's worthy to be praised for everything. Hallelujah. To His glorious and holy name, for allowing us to be able to come together and honor Him. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, period. So look at Jeremiah 28:8. It said the prophets, Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So this is what the prophecies that came about from the prophets. They prophesied against great kingdoms, of war. They prophesied of war and of evil and pestilence of old. So look at this is what you see happening at this time. Jeremiah 29:4. Thus said the Most High, power of hosts. Jeremiah 29:4. The power of Israel. So the Most High identified Himself as the power of Israel only. Unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. And here we are in this last Babylon, representing America. Build ye houses, He told us, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. See, we're in captivity, but we can do this. He said, take ye wives. He said, marry wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters. That's what this is about. Coming together so we can be plentiful and multiply, He's telling us, through these words. That ye may be increased, see? That we may be increased there and not diminished. So He wants us to have sons and daughters and be increased and not be diminished. But they got abortion clinics to stop all that. But you can't fall into that. He said, and seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away, captives, and pray unto the Most High for it, for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. So if you don't want war around you, He tell you to pray for peace in your surroundings, wherever you living at, in captivity. This is very important. But see, it tell you that in Job 9:24, for the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is He? So we understand that we in the hand of the wicked. The wicked, matter of fact, when you look at Song of Three Holy Children, and you can look at Babylon as the Chaldeans' land, but same, I can show you where Babylon represent Esau too, the Edomites too. The Song of Three Holy Children, verse 9, it says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. You see that? It says they're the most wicked in all the world, an unjust king, no matter who's over the country. There's going to be an unjust king that's going to be ruling, he's saying. Now, we had, you look at, because if you want somebody that want to just deal with it for the Babylon that we see there, representing the Chaldeans or the Babylonians or the Ethiopians, this what Nebuchadnezzar said concerning the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Can you press star 6?
In Daniel, the 3rd chapter, and verse 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel, the Son of the Most High, as an angel, and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any god, any power, except their own power. He acknowledging the Most High. This Babylon that we're in now, they don't acknowledge the Most High, or else they've been changed this. This would not exist in 2020. Point blank, without a shadow of a doubt. They have set themselves up to be the Most High and the h.o.d.c, the Son of the Most High. As he's saying, sent his angel, who is the Son of the Most High when you read verse 25. Listen to what he's saying, verse 29. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, shall be cut in pieces. You hear this decree? And their houses shall be made a dunghill, a crap house, because there is no other power that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. So that's what that king did, was in captivity under him. So it's not talking about them. But then let's go and look at some scriptures concerning our captors, our oppressors today. Go to Psalms 50 and 16. It says, but unto the wicked, nigga say that, Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Mashiach is coming to judge and make war. And the apostles, they were all men of color. But they painted them as so-called white men. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? When the Most High told us, go to, since we in Psalms, go to Psalms. The book of Psalms. Who's the covenant given to? Let's find out. Psalms 105 and 8. 8 to 10. He have remembered his covenant forever. So he said, the wicked, what do you mean putting my covenant in your mouth like it belongs to you? What did he say? He had remembered his covenant forever. So he still remembers his covenant, which is a contract or agreement. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law. You see, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And to Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, for an everlasting covenant. So now, and he told us in Amos 3, 1 and 2, he says, hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. You see? So he only know 12 tribes of Israel, as it is written. So he come back and saying to the wicked, Psalms 50:16, but unto the wicked the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee? Look at Proverbs 1:7. So they hate instruction. You tell them, thus say the Most High. They don't want to hear that. Then they come with their own doctrine. Proverbs 1:7 says they hate instruction, right? It says the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and destruction. So he calling them fools because they despise wisdom, which is a proper application of knowledge, and instruction. Can't instruct them. Psalms 50:17. Seeing thou hateth instruction, because they don't have the fear of the Most High. They don't have the fear of the Most High. And castest my words behind thee. See? Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit, lies. I mean, when you look at it, you know, go to Revelations 12:9. This is what they've done. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon, when you read verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, another wonder on this earth, and behold, a great red dragon. So the dragon is red, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads are the leading empires of the Edomite nation, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. Once again, the 7 heads are the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. And the 10 horns is the European Economic Community, or the European Community, or NATO, that support the 7 heads and 7 crowns upon his heads, right? Power, wisdom, and authority. So verse 9 said, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, have lied to the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So this is what's going on. Why the Most High saying what he's saying? Because Satan showed h.o.d.c, the anointed Savior, though, all the kingdoms of the world in a moment's time. And he said, all could be thine if you do what? Bow down and worship me. But every time h.o.d.c went to the law of the Most High, and he had to leave him alone. The devil had to leave him alone. Going back to Psalms 50:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit, lies. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. And when you go back to Genesis 25:25, Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment. And Jacob, who's a forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, is his fraternal twin brother. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Right now, they're trying to cause and affect everything that's going on, pretty much blaming his brother Jacob. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Say, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. The Most High said, I've been quiet. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. You can't deny that. Y'all thought that I was one just like you. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. That's what you see. That the Most High is setting the 12 tribes of Israel in order right before their eyes. Psalms 94 and 16. Psalms 94 and 16. Psalms 94, 16. It says, who will rise up for me? The Most High is asking this question. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? The evildoers, those that telling the people that you don't have to keep the laws of the Most High. You're not under any judgment for breaking the laws of the Most High, which is a lie. Telling men that they can get married, men and men, women and women. Teaching children about this type of abomination that the Most High tells us in Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man lie with mankind as they shall a woman, both of them have committed abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. That's the judgment in the law. That the Most High took the time to write with his finger. Has nothing to do with man. He wrote the laws. Man published it, but the Most High is the one that gave the laws. You see? So the things that you see, we got to watch all our food because you got all these poisons and abominable foods that didn't change the names of. You got to all the time be researching to find out if it's pork, if it's crab, if it's shellfish, if it's this, that, or third, things that we're not supposed to be eating. They put it all in the food, defiling it. That's what the Most High says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 5. Who's going to do this? Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1 and 2. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness in the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. You know, the righteous man is standing in great boldness in the face of such that have not made no account of free labor. If you go back to slavery, 400 years of free labor, and they crying about reparations until this day, never thought to give a brother or sister or their offspring 1 penny. So I said, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. That's the righteous man. That's the man that's going to stand up against the Most High, going to rise up against the evildoers and iniquity, those that commit iniquity. So when the righteous man stand in great boldness before they face, now they try to set up, we righteous, so they try and, pinpoint things against us, since they can't find anything against us, making up things against us. The Israelites. And we're not black Hebrew Israelites. Get that straight. We just Israelites or Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew is our language and Israelite is our nationality. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not no group. We're not no organization. We're not no movement. We are a nation of people that this Bible is talking about. That's it. But when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, because they don't know the prophecies. They don't know this Bible, or else they will be denouncing and trying to make sure that what it is that they have done, they can correct. But nobody's doing that. How many years it said, you think the white man, so-called white man, going to come back to this earth and set righteousness on this earth? And they laugh and say no. So they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, Yasharella. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. Understand this. Somebody has to be here to fulfill this. Somebody have to be here to fulfill this. These prophecies that's written. First Thessalonians 4:16.
Q&A mode is on. Participants may now unmute themselves. Presentation mode is on. Only organizer can be heard.
1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Most High, h.o.i, and the anointed Savior, himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. Remember, they're going to be amazed at the strangers of our salvation, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, the trumpet of the Most High, and the dead, those that have died by h.o.i, in the name of the anointed Savior, shall rise first. They're going to rise first. Then we, which are alive, so that you know, it's going to be those that are going to be alive to fulfill what it is that's written here. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. So we coming with those that have died in the name of the anointed Savior. And we that are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, or in the air, in the chariots of the Most High. When you read Psalms 104:3, you say the clouds, right? So the Bible answers itself. It's just a matter of we understanding what it's talking about. It's hip talk. Okay, clouds. What are the clouds? Psalms 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So the chariot, or the IFO, as we call them, identified flying objects. Well, they call them unidentified flying objects because they don't know. And they're going to be amazed at the strangers of our salvation. It says, 1 Thessalonians 4:17, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, in the chariots of the Most High, what they call flying saucers, to meet Hamashiach in the air, and so shall we ever be with Hamashiach, Yahweh. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. He said, comfort each other with these words. Same thing we see in Revelations 11 and 12. Revelation 11, chapter, the 12th verse. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. Come on up here. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. And their enemies beheld them. So they're going to be amazed at the strangers of our salvation. So our enemies going to behold us going up in the clouds, as it is written. Isaiah spoke about it in Isaiah 26:20. He seen a vision. Most High allowed him to see a vision. Isaiah 26:20. It says, come, my people. The Most High's people are the children of Israel. Enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. So he said, hey, we're going to go into this chariots, And it says, shut the doors about thee, hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. You see? Most High coming with wrath. His indignation. Destruction. Listen what it says. For behold, the Most High, Wamashak cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity, for their wickedness. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. Everyone that you murdered, the Most High gonna remember. You say he ain't covering up the slain no more. Woo. Look at Revelation 11 and 13. Revelation 11 and 13. Remember, the nation gonna be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven, power of heaven. So the remnant is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Going to give glory to the Most High, but be scared. You don't want to be afraid of the Most High. You're going to be afraid of him then. When you see this go down, you're going to be scared of him. Oh, yeah. They say we're going to be affrighted. What do you think that means? You're going to be scared. You're going to be afraid. And you're going to give glory to the Most High, power of heaven. Go to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. We're going to read from 1 to 4. Isaiah 2 and 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house, or the Most High's house, shall be established in the top of the mountains, top of the kingdoms, and shall be exalted above the hills, above all little kingdoms. And all nations shall flow into it. All nations are going to flow into it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the power of Jacob. You hear that? To the house of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways. See, we learning the ways of the Most High now. So that all these nations are going to come to learn the ways of the Most High through the men that he has set up in these last days to bring forth this truth. And we will walk in his paths. You ain't got no choice but to do this. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. You hear that? Out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem. And we know Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel, the children of Israel. So out from among the 12 tribes of Israel shall go forth the law. Look at Zion and define in Isaiah 51 and 15. 16. Isaiah 51 and 16. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. So we know that the Most High's people are who? Zion is the Most High's people. That's why we dare to define Zion. If you want more clarity, go to Exodus, the 3rd chapter and the 10th verse. Exodus 3 and 10. Who's the my people? Exodus 3 and 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people. That's why we're here to define who are the my people. The children of Israel out of Egypt. So the my people are the children of Israel. The Bible answers itself. So here we are in Isaiah 2 and 4. It says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. So he's going to rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares They weapons of war, they're going to beat their swords into plowshares, just farming utensils, and their spears into puny hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. No more war. It's going to be peace on the earth. But it's a lot of things got to go down before this, though. Go to Isaiah 11 and 3. 13, Salakia. Revelations 11 and 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. It's destruction. And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the Most High power of heaven. Look at what it tells you in Revelations 18. And we're going to look at verse 8. Revelations 18 and 8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. What's going to come? Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Most High power who judges her. You see? And he tells us, it says, and the kings of the earth, verse 9, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, making all the money you can think of and can't think of, and dealing with fornication, believing the same way that this Western Hemisphere has taught everybody to believe against the Most High, shall bewail her. They could be crying seeing this, and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. They're going to be afraid and scared of the Most High at this time, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon. It's not talking about the cities that the Arabs dwell in. It's talking about Babylon, America. That mighty city. It's going to tell you how long it's going to take to destroy it. For in 1 hour is that judgment come. See. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. No more longshoremen. No more ships selling. For no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. It's finished. Revelation 16 and 18. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon, great America, came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. That's judgment. That's judgment right there. Look at Daniel's 12 and 1. It's going to receive the judgment of the fierceness of the wrath of the Most High. See, every kingdom had a certain dispensation of time to rule. And then the Most High brought him down and set somebody else up. He the one rules in the kingdom of men. Daniel's 12 and 1. Hear the word of the Most High. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Michael the archangel of war. And there shall be a time of trouble. There'll be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. His people, the Most High's chosen people, 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel shall be delivered or saved. Every one that shall be found written in the book. It's very important. That's what this is all about, Yasharallah, Israel. That our names be written in the book. Look at Revelation 20 and 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life. That's the book it's talking about. The book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So if your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire. That's what this is all about. Working so that our names could be written in the book of life. No more, no less. That's what's important for Yasharala. And whoever it is that's showing you these precepts of understanding should be showing you a way that your name could be written in the book of life, or you wasting your time. Because if your name not written in the book of life, he just told you you'll be cast into the lake of fire, where the worms never die and the fires never quench. Second Ezra in the Apocrypha 7 and 32. Second Ezra 7 and 32. Second Ezra 7 and 32. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence, and the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment. As all these souls come, like you said, those that are asleep in the earth, those that dwell in silence, those that dwell in the secret places, going to give up those souls that were committed to them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. Beautiful. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and truth is Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. But judgment only shall remain. Truth, which is the laws of the Most High, shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. Belief in the Most High gonna wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed for the works that's being done in these mortal bodies. You're gonna be rewarded. And the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Wicked deeds not gonna have no power. That's why you go to Revelation 20 and 12. Revelation 20 and 12. This is the judgment. Revelation 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works, as we just read in the Apocrypha. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So ain't gonna be no more death and hell to be cast into. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. It's very important that you see this. Revelation 21 and 8. Revelation 21 and 8. But the fearful and unbelieving, those that don't have no faith, and you fearing something outside from the Most High, and unbelieving and the abominable, those that break the laws of the Most High. Most High hate all abomination. And murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Gonna be done away with. Because there'll be righteousness on this earth. And those that don't want to follow and have opportunity to rehearse the righteous acts now, gonna be cast away into this lake of fire. 1 Corinthians. That's why it's important that you see this and hear this and change. Before we go there, go to 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach Yahushua, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. That's the judgment. Every last one of us is going to be judged on account of what we have done in these mortal bodies, whether it was good or bad. And we know the Most High is the only thing that's good, and his laws are good. Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua, we persuade men, persuading you to change. But we are made manifest unto the Most High, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness, the way you think. You have to want to change. You have to change, or you're going to fit into the category of the flesh. And a lot of you have come into the truth and left and think you still rolling as Israelite. You're not rolling as Israelite. You're rolling right here. 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. Don't be fooled. Don't let nobody lie to you. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, men acting like women, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, men with men, or women with women. You read about that in Romans 1:26 down. Concerning women, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. You see it right here. And such were some of you. See, the Most High is to let you know that some of us were doing these things. But you are washed, you're changed. Mashiach told us in St. John 15 and 3, now you are clean through the word that I'm speaking unto you. And such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua and by the spirit of our power. You see? But you got to change. You have to change. That's why he told you in Romans 12 and 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, Romans 12 and 1, by the mercies of the Most High, mercies, plural, not getting something you do deserve, over and over again, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. See, that's the least thing you could do. We present our bodies as a living sacrifice. And be not conformed to this world. You would say, don't be conformed to this world,